Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech, and we're going to compare the glass screen protectors that I've been using for the past month. I've actually used each one of these for a week at a time, and I use them in the order from left to right. All of these were about $30 to $40 each. They include one glass screen protector, and they each have their little bit of difference. So this one here is probably the first or well-known one, or most well-known out of the group, and it's from Spigen. It's the glass, and this is their slim version, so it's really thin. We have the Bodyguards Pure, the USG Impossible Slim, and the Armor's Stealth Extreme R. Now, like I said, I used each one of them for a week, and we're going to do a couple comparisons as far as scratch tests with them. But this one in particular, I used first, and it was really thin. I found it to be really nice, but I did drop it and crack it. Let me pop it out of here. I used each one for a week, then put them back in the case, respectively, and then stuck them on here. They do have a little bit of adhesive, so they'll have a little bit of dust, but I dropped this one on concrete, and it did its job. It actually kept my screen from breaking, so pretty happy with that. It's super thin and feels very natural as far as the touch compared to the real iPhone screen. So I was pretty happy with that. Let's put this here. Moving on to the Bodyguards. The Bodyguards screen protector, really nice as well. A little bit thicker, and you can see here this one is so thin I can arch it quite a bit. It almost feels plasticky. The Bodyguards is a little bit thicker, and you do notice it. It feels like it's going to break past that point, but you don't really arch your screen on your phone. But it's really nice as well. Again, the USG Impossible. This one is definitely a little bit thinner compared to the Spigen. It feels about the same, maybe a little bit thinner, but doesn't have quite the fingerprint protection of the other. And then we have the Armor's Stealth Extreme R. I have to say, out of these four, the Stealth Extreme R is my favorite. And the reason is even though it's a little bit thicker than these, the surface feels probably the most like the glass on the iPhone out of all of them. The slipperiness compared to the glass feels about the most natural. The thing that they did differently than the other group is these edges are beveled. And so each edge on here has a bevel in them. And then they also imprinted their logo here, and I wasn't so sure I'd like that, but it turned out to be really neat. What I'm going to do is I'll switch this up a little bit. I'm going to put a different background so you can see these a little better, and then we'll do some tests between them. Hopefully you can see these a little bit better. They are transparent, so it does make it obviously a little bit harder. And you can see some of them are a little bit dirty, like the Bodyguards, but they've all held up really well. Like I said, I dropped the iPhone with the glass on here from Spigen, and it cracked the corner, but it protected the iPhone, so that's not really too much of an issue. Now, to compare them individually, the Spigen version has an oleophobic coating, as does the Bodyguards and the Armor's Stealth Extreme. I didn't seem to find that to be the case with the Impossible one. In fact, this one feels doesn't slip as well. You can see I'm just moving my finger back and forth. This is moving with me. This one's not at all. This one is as well. This one seems to be probably the most slippery as far as that goes. The toughness of them, each of them have a little bit different hardness. The Stealth Extreme R is 9H, as is the USG Impossible. If we flip this over here, the Slim here from Spigen is also 9H hardness, and I believe the Bodyguards is 6H hardness. However, I didn't actually have any of these scratch. So what we're going to do is see how they flex, see how they scratch, see if we got any scratches on them whatsoever, and then I'll give you my overall impression of all of them. As far as flexibility goes, let's test that first. Here's the Spigen, and we'll flex it. Pretty flexible, and that's not going to matter too much, but it does help if you were to drop it as far as durability. The Bodyguards, not as flexible, and you definitely feel it because it's thicker when you have it on your phone, as far as the lip on there. The USG Impossible, pretty flexible. Definitely thinner. And the Armor's Stealth Extreme. Flexible, not so much this way, but it has this nice beveled edge on it, so a little bit different there. As far as scratchability, I've got a little test I'm going to do. I actually have my keys here from my car. I'm going to take one of these off. I've got my car key. I'm going to scratch each one of these 10 times. Then we'll check for scratches. Then I'm going to switch to a screw. Then I'm going to switch to a knife, and we'll see how they all hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can see I pushed down on this. It actually snapped pretty easily. And I don't know if that's because it's cracked up here, but I don't have to push very hard to crack it. And maybe because it's cushioned underneath, but that was pretty easy. We'll start with the body guards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm pushing harder than I was on the Spigeon. Let's go to the USG Impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that broke pretty easily, and I'm going to stop. That's me putting a lot of force on it. And I can do it again. I'm pushing a lot of force, and it breaks. Let's move over to the Armor's Stealth Extreme R. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm pushing a lot harder than I did on any of these on the Stealth Extreme R, so that was pretty impressive. Now you can see the slimmer versions already lost this. They're useless at this point. In fact, this doesn't take much pressure at all, and I don't have a super hard surface underneath it, but I want to kind of see how strong they really are. So if I just push right here, it'll fracture. Let's push over here. Nothing. This is the bodyguards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And since we've already ruined these two, we'll just go over to the armors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty hard, both of those. Finally, I have a knife. This is a very sharp knife, and we'll just scratch it like this. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll move over to the armors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see how hard I'm hitting that. This one will just crack again. I would think. They don't take much pressure under those keys for some reason. So that's pretty much it as far as those tests go. Let's see what kind of scratches we have. Obviously, the two slimmer versions did not hold up very well, so we're going to count those out for now. I do like them on the phone a lot, but if they're not going to hold up over time, if they get dinged a little bit, like I said, I cracked it when it landed in this corner, and it's done for. So here's the bodyguards. It held up pretty well. Let me take this back protector off it, see if we can see any scratches whatsoever. I don't see any scratches on the bodyguards, and this was one of the buttons they came with. I don't see any scratches on the bodyguards. Oh, maybe. Nope, no scratches whatsoever. Let's take a look at the armors. Let me take the back off here so you can see it a little better. I don't see any scratches on the armors either. Nope, that wiped off. And it's picking up all sorts of lint, but that looks pretty pristine. I don't see any cracks whatsoever, and I'm pretty impressed with that. So the bodyguards and the Armor's Stealth HD held up the best out of the four. The USG Impossible and the Glass T or Glass Slim did not hold up whatsoever. You can see it's just breaking, and that's unfortunate. As far as warranties go, I'm not exactly sure what they cover. You'd have to go to each individual website to check that out, see if they would cover it if you dropped it, things like that. But I'm pretty impressed with how well the bodyguards and the Stealth HD held up. Out of those two, as far as durability goes, they seem to be about the same. But I do like the Armor's HD just because of this beveled edge. It really makes a difference and feels really nice when you touch the button area here. It's just not a straight drop on the edge. And so they're all great, but they all have obviously some weaknesses and a little bit of differences. And I would love to hear what you think as far as your opinion on these. If you were to get any of these, I definitely would say they're better than any plastic screen protector out there, any vinyl screen protector. They are just the best to use. This obviously is done. I need to take care of it and make sure I don't have any glass pieces around. And it did not hold up as well as I thought it might. They cracked pretty easily, so that's a little disappointing if you were hoping to use those things. But it's pretty impressive that they endured such a sharp knife and a screw, each one of those 10 times, and the keys, and I was pressing extremely hard, so it's pretty impressive they can withstand that on the same surface that's the same that these couldn't stand. I'd love to know what you think about all of these different screen protectors, the Spigen, the Bodyguards, the USG Impossible, and the Armors. Please place those in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.